Welcome back to the Mookie Chilson channel, and the East Coast National is in the books, and boy was it incredible. It was just one of the best experiences I've had at a card show, probably ever, maybe ever. And I'm going to tell you all about it. There were thrills, chills, celebrity guest stars, autograph authentications, an SGC grading drop-off reveal I'll tell you about. Some fun low-end vintage deals, which I just love digging through and digging into, and one major big bang card to end the show. So stay tuned for that. But first, I just want to, you were looking live at the Hall of Justice. This was the scene outside the show on Saturday morning before they opened at 10 a.m. My friend Pete and I were, Pete, who's big boy collection I babysat over the summer, were online together waiting to go in there. And so when we got in there, the first thing, I made a beeline straight to JSA to drop off my autographs for authentication to get those in. And then I wanted to meet some people that I knew were going to be there, some dealers who I knew were going to be there, that I just wanted to shake their hand. People who have been on YouTube, who I've seen on YouTube, that I wanted to just connect with and say hello to and show them some gratitude and appreciation for what they do. And one of them is not a YouTube content creator, but he is a regular on Theo Clemente Collector's YouTube channel, Howard Chasser. He is the guy who wears the Clemente jersey behind the table. He did a before and after the national interview with two interviews with Theo that were just so illuminating and helpful for me as a sort of relatively newish hobbyist, several years into this, to reconnecting, how to think about approaching dealers and what their motivations are, what they need to do to make their money, and how they operate, and what he looks for in doing deals and that kind of thing. So Howard Chasser, check out those interviews with Theo. They're really outstanding. But I got the chance to shake his hand and thank him for increasing the amount of knowledge that's out there in the world, because I think that's a very helpful and important thing. I also ran into John from Behind the Diamond, who I love to see every time he plays the convention booth like a Stradivarius. He is like the master of these Hall of Fame autographs and on-card autos. The way he deals with people is unbelievable. I love watching his videos, so every time he's at a show, I go up and shake his hand and say hello and give him hell for giving my Mets hell all the time. But that's okay, because he gave me a nice Cleon Jones autograph one time, which I really appreciated. And so I met John from Behind the Diamond, and then I also met one of the members of this group, the Wolf Pack. You may know this group of hobbyists who call themselves the Wolf Pack. I did not meet Cousin Tony from Cousins Collectibles, or Cousin Oz from Cousins Collectibles, or Craig from Crosstown Cardboard, or Carmine from Crosstown Cardboard. And Rob, the sports card therapist, wasn't there. But the man who was there is the man whose autograph I got, Big Ken from Sports Card Lessons. Ken is one of the people whose content I love listening to. He's just such a, again, just like Howard, he sort of gives you the insight for what it's like for him behind the table. And I feel a certain real appreciation for all of the things he has to say and the way he works through problems and issues. He's just a very thoughtful and wonderful person to listen to. So, of course, I met him, and he knew I was coming, apparently, and he gave me this deck of cards, these 52 Topps Wolfpack cards, which, again, had an open, empty white spot. And I said, Ken, I got a white box here. You need to sign this. He said, oh. He said, okay. So he signed it for me. And, of course, I knew what I was going to do as soon as he signed it. I was going to bring it to John from Behind the Diamonds to try and flip it. And, of course, I went over there and I did that in a joking manner. But he knew I was kidding. Anyway, we couldn't agree on comps, so I held on to the cards, which I love. Anyway, so speaking of autographs, like I said, I went immediately to the JSA booth and dropped these off. These were the 5 cards that I had got you know, autographs of, but I want just authentication so that I can know that they're real. I suspect all of them are real. I really didn't have any big concerns about Cal Ripken Jr., but he got an authentic Tom Terrific, part of my 86 Topps Mets Master Collection. Le Grand Orange, Rusty Staub. He is authentic. And again, if you see an 86 Topps version of this, let me know. 87 Topps, Gary Carter is also authentic. And again, you just drop these off, and a few hours later, you pick them up, and they've done their work. And the big question in my mind was this Kelvin Chapman. Now, if you watched the previous Kelvin Chapman video I made, you know that this card is very elusive. I have never, in 3+ years of trying to put together an on-card auto Mets 86 Topps set, I'd never seen another one before. So when this one popped up on eBay for $50 from a seller who had like no sales history, I was like, is this real? Is somebody just putting this up there? Wait a minute. And I remember, you may recall, I was in Disney World the first night of my Disney World vacation with my family, and I put my head on my pillow, and I just had to like make the decision. Am I giving this person $50 for this card? And I did. And I took a leap of faith, and the card came, and it was bent out of whack and very poorly shipped, which actually made me feel better about it. The kid who sold it to me said that he was a baseball player, and Kelvin Chapman lived near him and visited his college, and I actually felt good about that story. And the card got damaged and bent. But again, this is never leaving my collection because, yes, JSA agrees with the young man who sold this to me that it is authentic. And so I thank him, and welcome to Authentication, Kelvin. And then, of course, there are some of these. I want to take you through some of my lower end pickups here. And one of them includes this card, Hitters Foes, 3 Dodgers pitchers, including Don Drysdale, Johnny Padres. And this is the last card I needed for my set on my display in my world headquarters here of these dual 1959 multi-card set. You got the Destruction Crew up there. There's Al Kaline, Robin Roberts, Ernie Banks, all the greats, including Willie Mays over there. I filled it out with some Topps Archives sets because there's 17 in the set, and you need 20 to fill up the grid. So I filled it in with some Topps Archives. But anyway, these guys join the display here at the Mookie Chilson World Headquarters. The fat cats at Grafco Map Tax will be happy to know that the display is full. I'm just going to fix that. And so beyond that, I picked up some more of them. I can't help myself. So there's this one, the Hitting Kings. Oh, I got a Kurt Flood, 59 Kurt Flood, and a Destruction Crew, which I know Scott Reindeer Studios was not at this show because that card was available. Now, all of these together were the ticket price, the sticker price was $50, but the bin was marked 50% off, and I offered the guy 20, and he said yes. So I got all these 3 for 20, so I was happy with that. And then I got this stack of cards for $35. So some bunch of cards here for $35. I'll go through these quickly. You got a Nolan Ryan Saves the Day 1970 Topps in really nice shape. Gil Hodges, Playing Days Mets, 63 Topps in good shape. Casey Stengel, 65 Topps, good shape. I told you I can't not collect these. These hurlers. 1960, there's the Mazeroski walk-off homer. Again, There you go, Scott. I got a nice Frank Robinson 75 tops. I got a 1965 Masanori Murakami rookie card. Again, he's the first Japanese pitcher and player in Major League Baseball in 1965. I love this card, and anytime I see it, particularly for a good price, I'll pick it up. I do not have one of these before, a Curt Flood rookie card, so this is a beautiful green. You know, I mean, the condition is not incredible, but I couldn't pass it up. And then there was this card. This is a 1947 Bond bred Ralph Kiner card. Ralph Kiner, of course, is a Hall of Famer slugger in this picture here for the Pittsburgh Pirates. But he would go on to become an announcer for the New York Mets in my childhood and youth, and I love Ralph Kiner for that reason. He was the soundtrack. He and Tim McCarver and Bob Murphy are the soundtrack of my youth. And so when I saw this card, I said, okay, that's pretty cool, beautiful. It says $10 on the back. But I got all these cards, this whole stack, for $35. I mean, this Murakami is worth probably $30 on its own. And the rest of them are just beautiful cards. So anyway, so that was my sort of lower end vintage pickup. And then there's the higher end vintage pickup. And I'm going to move the display here. So this is it. This is a 1949 Bowman Larry Doby card. And it is pictured in a picture at the SGC booth because I'm submitting it for grading. I was walking out of the show and I saw this card. It was the only card I saw, only version of this. This is a short printed card. This is Larry Doby's rookie, and it is beautiful. I love this card so much. It's a card I have been looking for, a nice version of. It's got a little bend in it in the bottom left-hand corner. Again, I collect cards that have pinholes in them. I'm not really picky about condition, particularly for scarce cards like this that are just sort of iconic and really like never going to leave my collection. So I was able to pick this card up. It was not inexpensive. It was I got a good deal on it though, I think, and I was thrilled to pick it up. So I will let you know what it grades when it comes back from SGC with the rest of my cards. I did submit that Satchel Paige card that I asked for all your input on. The Satchel Paige was in an ISA holder marked a 1, and so many of you said just crack it out, and I totally agreed with you. I did get nervous, and Theo Clemente Collector said cross it over, just cross it over for a minimum grade above authentic. As long as it gets a number grade, that's good. So that's what I'll do, and so I'm not worried about the actual number it comes back with. As long as it crosses over into an SGC holder, I'll be happy. So that is there. I got the Willie Mays exhibit card that I will see whether or not it's fake or real or not, and a bunch of other cards that are coming back, and I'll do that in a subsequent video. So this is my East Coast National wrap-up video. I'm trying to get Pete, my friend Pete, Big Baller Pete, to share his pickup from this show because it is off the charts insane. So we'll see if he agrees to let me show the card that he picked up. But until then, there will be another reveal when the SGC cards come back. But thank you all for enduring this and for listening to me yak about one of the most epic and fascinating card shows I've ever been to. Just a thrilling event. So have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.